Hey, I'm out here in my shed again. Welcome to another episode of The Naked Turner. Hope you enjoyed the last installation. I'm trying to shoot some quick little videos. I think I had sort of lost my desire to turn. I was getting too much dust in my lungs and in my body, and then I had the elbow problem. But I am back out here turning and trying to take it easy on ingesting too much dust. I like to wear my Trend Air respirator, but I'm not that happy with that either. It seems to be breaking down and having a bunch of different issues all at the same time. So other than that, I'm out here. A friend of mine gave me a wonderful piece of Purpleheart, and it's a 3/4 inch piece that's about 10 inches or 11 inches across, and I'm going to turn it into a plate. Here it is. So it's rough at 11 1/4, so hopefully I'll get about an 11-inch plate out of this. It's a beautiful piece of Purpleheart, and I'm going to do a little bit of wood glue on a glue block here. Place that down, and I'm going to do some hot glue up around there. I have a little gap under here that allows me to squeeze some hot glue up under this. I'll probably put a little on the face of that as well, but just to give the idea of what I'm doing, this will be the top side of my bowl because it has a little curvature, kind of like that. I'll turn the bottom first and then flip it around, put it in my scrolling jaw chuck, and turn the rest of it. Anyway, there's the beginning. I'll do some hot gluing, and then I'll be ready to start turning. All right, so now I've got a good healthy amount of hot glue plus some wood glue up underneath there, and that should get me a good start to this piece. All right, we'll see what I can get out of this. This piece is actually even more severely warped than I was thinking it was. So I can see that right here on this edge, it's got a real hook right here. Boom. So hopefully I'll be able to get a relatively thin piece out of this. I'm going to draw some lines and see what I get. So one thing about Purpleheart is it's fairly brittle across these grains. So you got to kind of be careful. This piece could split apart on me. So I'm going to try to avoid that. And then, like I just showed you, it's got a severe warp in the board. I'm trying to turn it in a direction that will lend itself to that, but there's a considerable warp and wane in this piece. So see what I get out of it. That's how I actually inherited this piece. It was a reject from something else. So plus my dear friend who gave it to me, Mr. John Bray, he's closing his shop. So that's another reason I got it. Okay, so starting off my lathe real slow. And yeah, wow, it's real wobbly. First thing I'll try to do is true up this outer edge. I'm using my heavy-duty Robert Sorby scraper to scrape the bottom of this piece of Purpleheart and get it nice and flat. All right, there's a little better view, hopefully. Now I'm using my round nose scraper and my skew chisel in order to create a mortise in the bottom of this plate. All right, so I just forgot to restart the camera here. That was my fault, not the camera's fault. Duh. And what I did, I came in here, I did a little sorbet texturing on the bottom, a couple little detail lines, and then sanded it up here at a 400 grit. I'm going to blow all the dust out, and then I'm going to just put some oil on this piece. I'm not going to do any hard finish, just an oil finish. Just because this wood is going to look so pretty with just oil. It'll be a lot easier to upkeep and what have you. But hopefully, yeah, there we go. I did some little detailing in there. Let's see if I have a charge here. I don't think I do. No. I'll have to charge my compressor up and then blow that detail out, and then I'll do some finish on this. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. If you're interested in seeing how I did that, I have some other videos you can look up. If you do a search on my channel on sorbet texturing, you'll see some of them. Oh, just a little update as well. Hey, I just got some of my Yorkshire Grit in, and I love this stuff. I also got their new stuff, the Yorkshire Grit Micro abrasive, and I have yet to try this, but I can't wait to try it on some pens, maybe some acrylic. It's supposed to be really good for that, so I'm excited about getting to try some of this. But I'm just getting back to turning, so you know, going back to my Yorkshire Grit, I'll be putting some of that, some of the Yorkshire Grit on the bottom of this plate to do a final buff, and then just applying some oil and wax finish. All right, so here's the piece. I got some Yorkshire Grit on a rag here. Rub it in. And like I said, I had this sanded up to about 400. Yeah, it was 400 grit, so a little bit more of the grit. Nice healthy coat. Oops. It's just about to lose some. It's a warm day here in Oakland. Working some down into this end grain. I haven't done a full, I just did a little sanding here. I'll probably do a little more sanding in the very end once I have it completely down to the right thickness here. But as you can see, even just applying a little bit of this Yorkshire Grit gives me such a nice start to a beautiful finish. And then what I'll do in order to get the grit out of the crevices in my finish, I take a paintbrush with shortened bristles, and this is just a chip brush, a throwaway brush. And then run it in reverse. Make sure I get it off the other walls. Get it out of the depth of that crack so I don't have it build up on the jaws. There we go. And I don't want to take it off everywhere yet. I'm just letting that sit on there for a little while, and then I'll come and start doing some buffing on it. But as you can see, I mean, look at this. It's already absolutely gorgeous. Let's see what I ended up netting out here. Yeah, just over 11 and a 16th inch. So that's a nice size plate, and I think it's going to be real pretty as long as I can keep it in one piece. All right, now I'm back, and I'm spinning up here, starting out right about 700 RPM. I am in reverse, so I'm going to switch to forward gear. Food safe finishes, especially here in California. Lots of healthy, conscious people, which is really good. And so a lot of time I'll just put on a simple finish of this, buff it in. Just make sure you don't get the other, there's another one of these that has orange oil in it and stuff. Don't use the orange oil one, that one is not so good. It has distillates of petroleum and stuff like that in it. This one does not have any distillates of petroleum. So that's why it's better. All right, so now I have it flipped around. I'm leaving this on for a little bit of stability here while I get rid of some of this outer rim, and then I'll get rid of that. All right, let's get going here. There we go. How to do it like that. I'm doing a bunch of sanding here using a friction sander, and I won't bore you with that, but once I'm done I will be putting a Robert Sorby texture. Okay, so I'm going to do a little Sorby tool texturing here in the middle of this. Get myself set up, spinning down here at 500 or thereabouts. Yeah, right around 500. Okay, so hopefully you can see. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing here, or if I'm in the way. It looks like you can see. I'm going to try to stay out of the way by being over to this side. So I'm coming in here near center point and touching and allowing it to pull me to where it wants to be. And now I'm just cutting. I'm going to rotate a little. Not too much, because this stuff likes to tear out. And there, that's a pretty good little figure there, a little flower figure. Now I'm going to try, if I can, to touch right in the middle of that. Just do a very light cut. See what I get. All right, I get a little star. Another little flower pattern in the middle of that. Okay, so now I'm going to come in just outside. And I'm using the sharp side. I find it works better than the beveled side on a lot of woods. I get a crisper, cleaner cut, depending on what I'm trying to do. And I'm going to twist the handle just a little. So what I'm doing is I'm rolling just a little, and I've got this down to a nice 5/16 here at the edge and about a 1/4 inch throughout. And I like that. I'm going to do one more, and then that's it. And a slight roll again. That's it. All right, now I'm going to come in with my V'ing tool, which right here, I'm going to use this one. sure I'm above center. Okay. You come in right out here. Do one right there. One right there. Right there. There. And then one little one right in the very middle. All right. Now, what I'll do is take and run that. And reverse. And hopefully you can see that. Let me zoom in a little on this. There. So you get an idea. Very simple, not too deep, just deep enough. This is probably about a fat 32nd of an inch, maybe 1/16 of an inch deep on some of the deeper lines. All right, I've got it sanded up here. 400 grit. Apply some Yorkshire Grit. And lather it up. That's the other thing I love about it, it feels good on your hands. So it's kind of nice when you can apply a product that feels good on your hands. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit on there for a little while, and then I'll buff it off just like I did before, and I'll show you some images of the finished platter. Thanks for watching another episode of The Naked Turner. I hope you enjoyed the make on this Purpleheart platter with a little bit of texturing, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and share.